Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank each of you to today's featured Broker Hunter webinar presentation. Today's presentation is a virtual information session discussing Fidelity Regional Center careers. This is brought to you today by Fidelity Investments. I'm David Testerman with Broker Hunter, and I will be the moderator for today's featured presentation. Before we get started, I introduce our first speaker from Fidelity. I'd like to have Vincent from Zoom jump in here and tell us a little bit about the webinar control panel, and also let everyone know how to ask questions via the Q&A pane. Vincent?
Thank you, David. In today's webinar, you'll see two main controls. On your lower left, you have your audio settings. So in a webinar, you are in a listen and view only mode. So you don't have to worry about your webcams or microphones today, but you can use the audio settings to select your speakers. And then in the middle, you should see a QA button. The QA panel is how you can ask your questions today. And if you do experience any technical difficulties, please use the Q&A to report any problems, and I will be reaching out to you directly through the Q&A to get that resolved. And now back over to David.
All right, thanks so much, Vincent, for the help. And before we jump in and I introduce our first speaker, let's take a quick poll of the audience here real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and launch the first poll, and it's 3 questions. If everybody could take a minute to just answer these questions while we're waiting, and give everybody a few minutes here. And while we're finishing up the poll here for a minute, we're going to go ahead, since the housekeeping items are now taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the first speaker today, which is Ms. Jordan Schley with Fidelity Investments. Jordan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, David. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to our presentation today and learning a little bit more about Fidelity Investments. My name is Jordan Schley. I am a talent acquisition consultant in Denver, Colorado. I focus mostly on our customer relationship advocate position, which is a great service opportunity for folks trying to break into the financial industry. Today, we're very excited to open our doors and give you a little bit of a glimpse into working at Fidelity Investments and the possible career that you could potentially start here. During today's presentation, we have a few things we'd like to touch base on. Today, I'll be talking through our About Fidelity slides just to give you an idea of who we are, what we do, and what you could potentially be joining if you were to look at opportunities with us. In terms of our other presentation notes here today, we'll be covering other aspects as why you should consider Fidelity and, again, career opportunities with us. So to get started today, Fidelity is a very well-established organization. We have been around for 70+ years. We are a family-owned organization, which means that we are privately held. So our founding family is still the owners and operating officers today. So we really have that family feel here at Fidelity. In terms of our purpose and who we are, our purpose is to make financial expertise broadly accessible and effective in helping people live the lives they want. One of our biggest aspects here is spreading that financial literacy to those clients that have accounts with us and to the community around us. That's a really big attribute that we focus a lot on, because the more we can share that knowledge and provide education and information about personal finance, the better off people will be, and the better decisions they can make for themselves. As far as Fidelity goes, I mean, we're a pretty large organization. Right now we have 40,000 plus associates spread across the country here in the US, North America, and outside internationally as well. We currently have 30 million individual customer accounts. And as you can see, we have about 12,000 of our associates are purely dedicated to our innovative technology space. And that's because we really stay on the cutting edge of technology and what we can do for our clients to make their lives a little bit easier day to day through more effective and efficient technology and streamlined processes. And as I mentioned, we are located here domestically in North America and abroad. But today we are going to focus on our main regional centers that offer opportunities to join the firm in a role that will start up your financial career. So we have sites across Utah and American Fork. We have a site in Covington, Kentucky, here in Greenwood Village, where I'm located, Jacksonville, Florida, Merrimack, New Hampshire, Salt Lake City, Utah, and Westlake, Texas. We also have other major regional centers in the United States, including Smithfield, Durham, and our headquarters in Boston, as well as a network of almost 200 investor centers across the US where our clients can come in person and meet with a consultant or representative to talk about their goals and planning opportunities. As far as the sites go themselves, it's a pretty progressive environment. I really consider our environment to be kind of a startup atmosphere because the Fidelity really does put a lot of emphasis into our working space. Being that we are a privately owned company, Fidelity really has the opportunity to help us focus on our customers by providing a warm, welcoming environment to us associates. And they really do invest in having a comfortable setting where you actually want to come to work every day, believe it or not. But when you're on the phone with a client, you have your own workspace, which everybody has sit-stand desks and cordless long-range headsets so that you can break away from your desk and really kind of be up and moving while you're on the phone. But when you're off the phone, when you're not focusing on that customer need, we want you to really enjoy your time here. So Fidelity regional sites offer really interesting and unique amenities. For instance, decompression rooms that offers fun activities like ping pong tournaments, foosball, video games. I know we have Zen meditation yoga rooms as well, things like that. So every site is a little bit unique and a little bit different, of course, to characterize the area that they're in and the people that work there. And you can really find that the amenities and the perks that the company offer because of our private status and because we are so successful, it really shows through every single day, through our culture, through our benefits, all of those pieces. And with that said, I would like to transition over to my colleague Talani, and she will tell you a little bit about why you should choose to work at Fidelity. Thanks, Talani.
Jordan. So thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Talani Laguda, and I sit here in Westlake, Texas as a talent acquisition consultant. Today, I'd like to go over why I choose Fidelity. Part of the reasons that I joined Fidelity almost 10 years ago was honestly because of the benefits, and I haven't looked back since then. I'm going to be going over some benefits that we have. And then, of course, you're more than welcome to ask any questions if you have some. So today, I'd like to talk about the student loan debt forgiveness. That's the first one. Fidelity, after, of course, being with the company for 6 months, contributes into your student loan debt. So they pay off your student loan debt up to $10,000. How that works is you simply apply and they pay directly to the lenders up to $166.66 every single month for the next 5 years. Next, I'd like to talk about the tuition reimbursement program. So if you're looking to maybe go back to college for your first degree or even your second degree, Fidelity reimburses up to 90% of certain costs up to $10,000 a year. So that's a huge one, and that's a huge one that a lot of people take advantage of here at Fidelity. The next one is a retirement plan match. Fidelity matches dollar for dollar up to 7% of your income. So meaning, if you put in 7% into your retirement account, Fidelity would match dollar for dollar up to that 7%. Our profit sharing is up to 10%. I have been here since 2007, and it has never gone below 10%. So that's huge, and that's a major win here at Fidelity. The next one is the maternity leave. That's another great one. When I had my own kids, we only had, I think, 6 weeks. Now we have 16 weeks for maternity leave, and then for the parental leave, 6 weeks. So I definitely would like for you guys to think about it, go online, see what we have to offer. But you are coming to a great company, a reputable company with great benefits that can help you and your entire household. Next, if you enjoy meeting people with, of course, similar interests, we do have several employee resource groups. The first one is the Enable group. It is for employees with all abilities. So the next one is Fidelity Pride. And then the Women's Leadership Group, Fidelity Veteran Employees Group. And with that group, it's really for our veterans. And then we also have the Asian Employee Resource Group. And the group's goal is to enhance awareness of the Asian culture. This group is open to anyone at Fidelity, and it's actually created by Fidelity employees. So if you think about a group that you like that is not on this list, it's all yours. You're more than welcome to, start one up and start, being a part of the Fidelity family. Thank you. And now I will pass it off to my colleague by the name of Asia. Thanks, Asia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining today. I'm Aisha Marchetti. I am a talent acquisition consultant, and I sit in the Westlake, Texas Regional Center. And today I'll be discussing some of the different career opportunities we have here. As you can see, we have areas of technology and innovation, leadership, business strategy and operations, risk management, and finance and accounting. More specifically, today, discussing the sales and relationship management phone-based roles here within our regional center. Some of these roles do require a FINRA license, in which we provide paid on-site industry-leading training here. We really pride ourselves on our training and the tools and resources that we have here to really equip our associates to be successful, not only with the licensing, but in their career with Fidelity. So some of these roles, they're broken up into sales and relationship management or service-based roles. The customer relationship advocate role, that's going to be in our service area or our relationship management area. They are taking inbound calls and really just helping our customers, again, being successful with their financial future. So they discuss a wide range of products and solutions with our customers. As far as our high net worth role, they do a similar role, but are speaking with a different audience. Workplace planning associate, that is going to be in our sales organization. Sometimes the word sales can be a little bit intimidating, but again, the goal in any role here is just providing the best guidance and solutions for our customers to be successful. So don't let the word sales intimidate you. If you talk to anybody here at Fidelity, they don't feel like a salesperson when they're in the role. So a workplace planning associate, they are placing outbound calls to our 401k participants. And again, this is going to be on our sales side. And an investment sales and solutions representative, they do require you come in with the Series 7 license, one of the FINRA license that, again, we help train for. And they are in an inbound sales phone function. Our service support group, they help with our processing, and transition services specialists, they help with re-registering accounts due to life changes for our customers. Our client management representative role, this role is, again, going to require those licenses coming in, as well as a bit more experience. It's going to be on our managed solutions side. We're really helping our customers and managing their money. As far as success factors and being successful in any position here at Fidelity, as you know, relationship building, we touched on before, most of these roles are client facing or customer facing. So again, our mission is we have the customer at the center of everything we do. Each customer means the world to us. So relationship building, commitment to our customers and what's best for them and their financial future, the desire to learn and dedication to study and apply new concepts in order to obtain your financial licenses. So this is going to require, while we have the training, lots of time and dedication, both while you're at work and, focus outside of work as well. These training programs can range from 4 to 7 months. So again, being dedicated, we will definitely provide you with the tools and resources, but your dedication is essential. The ability to work in a fast-paced environment. Again, these roles are phone-based, high volume roles. Calls can fluctuate at time of year, so just being agile and, again, willing to work in a fast-paced environment. And then client-facing roles where you've perhaps maybe spoke with a customer face-to-face or over the phone is also important as well and preferred. But again, we train you here, so not necessarily required, but so as far as taking the next steps, you could visit our Fidelity careers site and go through different job descriptions and learn a little bit more on the roles we touched on. Again, some keywords to search for is going to be our customer relationship advocate role, again, in our relationship management and service side, workplace planning associate role, that entry point into sales, and then investment solutions representative. That's going to be the role in sales that requires a Series 7 license. Maybe you already have a FINRA license, so you could take a look at that role. And then if you have any additional questions, we're going to go into a question answer session directly following this, but you could submit your questions to fidelitytalentevents@fmr.com. And then we have all forms of social media, so you can follow us and keep in touch with us and everything that's going on within Fidelity within our social media sites. So in closing, we would like to open it up to questions from the audience. So we do have a chat, and then we will be answering questions as well live as well.
All right, thanks so much for the presentation, y'all. Before we jump into questions, and I do encourage everyone right now to go ahead and ask any questions you have via the Q&A channel pane. Let's go ahead and get some questions there, but I'm going to go ahead and launch the last poll right now. And let me do that right this moment. And so while we're taking this last poll, go ahead and think about any other questions you might have, and we're going to jump into those here in just a moment. All right, so while I'm going to leave the polling questions up here real quick, please take the time to answer those. We're going to go ahead and jump into the first question. So this is a question I'm going to throw out there to Jordan. And Jordan, here is a person asking a question that they are in the middle of a career transition. Sounds like they're coming from outside the industry and their background is in information technology, but they would love to find a career in Westlake, Texas. Do you have any suggestions for them?
Yeah, actually Westlake, Texas is one of our regional centers that does happen to have opportunities in information technology. With that said, that is a different part of the organization. So that wouldn't be considered something that you would go through the licensing or anything of that nature for. I would encourage you to take a look at our careers page, filter specifically from Westlake, Texas, through Westlake, Texas, and look at the roles that really appeal to you. And I always encourage people to keep in mind that, if your resume, if your background hits 75 to 80% of what those wish items are from that job description, I encourage you to go ahead and apply, because a lot of times we're looking for folks that would be a great job fit, be a great company fit, and really looking for the growth opportunities that we can offer. So I would say if any of those things do happen, if any of the job description does happen to apply to your background, go ahead and take that chance. You know, a lot of it is need-based and some of it is want-based. So I would say definitely go ahead and look at any opportunities that might apply. Now, I will say that most of our technology roles are on the East Coast through our headquarters in Boston. I know we have some roles in the Raleigh-Durham area as well. But I also encourage you to keep your eye out for remote opportunities. Sometimes those do pop up as well. But as far as I know, Westlake, Texas is one of our larger sites, and we do have some of those roles available. It would just be a matter of aligning your background to the right role and making sure that you're giving yourself enough opportunity to consider a lot of different positions that you might see there.
Very good. Thank you so much. And again, out here on this last slide, there's you know, any questions you have, you know, certainly ask the Fidelity Talent Events at FMR, and also, you know, go to the Fidelity Jobs site as well. And we're going to be sending an email out to everyone with all of these links and everything at the end. So don't worry about writing anything down. But again, the fidelitycareers.com, tremendous resource for all of these opportunities out there. Okay, so next question here, kind of along the same theme. Don't have their Series 7. Are they still able to apply?
I'll take that one. So,
okay, go ahead, Talani.
So this is Talani. Yes, you do not have to have your Series 7 license to be able to do some of our roles. The customer relationship advocate role is a good role that you can actually, you know, apply for or apply to. We train you, and of course, we provide you with all the materials necessary to be able to obtain the Series 7 license. So you do not have to have your Series 7 license for the customer relationship advocate role at this time.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. Here's a good question. I guess this is from an attendee. And can you describe the typical interview process from start to finish with Fidelity?
I could take that one. This is Aisha. So initially upon applying, typically you will complete a digital interview and where you are asked questions and you are given the opportunity to record your answers. That is usually the first step you take. Depending on if you're coming into a licensed role, there could be an assessment as well. And that just helps us gauge your aptitude for passing and again, equipping you in training to be successful. And then we typically do a phone screen with a recruiter following the assessment and digital interview. And then we would bring you in for an on-site interview as well. We typically do try to have one interview, typically panel style interview, so multiple people in the interview room, so we're not bringing you back multiple times. And then we do utilize video capability for out-of-town applicants as well.
Very good. Can you describe, I think a lot of the folks on the call today are kind of from around the country. It sounds like you all have 7 primary regional centers. Is that correct? And are any particular ones right now, you know, really talking to candidates, or all of them? Are there any particular roles that you all would like to focus on right now?
I can take that one. Yes, at this time, we are hiring in all of our regional centers. So that would, statewide, that would include Utah, Colorado, Texas, Florida, Kentucky, and New Hampshire. So we do have those 6 main regional centers in terms of the licensed representative roles that we have. And we are actively recruiting right now. I think most of the sites are looking a couple of months out in terms of the start date timelines. We would be looking at that April-May timeframe, but to my knowledge, we do intend to be hiring throughout the rest of the year. However, we are just not sure of what the hiring will look like later this year. But to my knowledge, all of the sites are actively seeking candidates who are interested. And we have multiple different opportunities. I would just like to focus on, in terms of not being licensed, the customer relationship advocate is the best point of entry into our service-based organization where we'll help you to get that license. And then the workplace planning associate is our point of entry into the sales and planning side of our function, where we can also help you get those licenses as well. So I know that we are actively hiring toward both of those roles externally throughout all of the sites at this time.
Very good. What about somebody that's already FINRA licensed, maybe already in the industry? What's the best way for them to discuss the various opportunities? Would it be to speak with a Fidelity talent acquisition consultant specifically, or what would you recommend?
Absolutely. So utilizing our career site, going online and following that interview process that we discussed previously, that's how you would do that. Specifically pointing out the investment solutions representative role, that high net worth representative, client management representative. Those roles actually do require a license coming in. So those are some keywords that you could take a look at if you are licensed and would like to join.
Okay, that's great. Can you talk a little bit about, because I think that there may be some confusion just from time to time. You all have regional centers where you service your clients, but you also have over 200 branch or investor centers in major metropolitan areas as well. Can you talk a little bit about the different roles within each of those and how they all work together?
Yes, so our investor centers, as you said, we have over 200 throughout the United States. This is a more face-to-face client experience. We have a role that you can come into. Again, these are going to be sales-based roles, and they have a financial representative role, and that is, again, one we will provide licenses for. Or provide training to obtain those licenses. As far as the other roles, the relationship manager, investment consultant, financial consultant, those roles do require a license, and they are doing more face-to-face planning with our customers.
All right, very good. And for unlicensed candidates that are joining, can you talk a little bit about the kind of the formal training program they go through? I believe you mentioned that there is training for the Series 7 and other licenses as well. And can you talk a little bit about any training they would receive to get licensed?
I can go ahead and take this one.
Okay.
Our training is one of my favorite parts about our organization. And this is certainly something that if you look at our Glassdoor reviews between training and growth opportunities, this is what we're known for. So if you are to join the organization without your Series 7 license, the training for these licenses will all happen within the first 4 months that you be with us. So it is the first thing that you're going to do. I will tell you, it's going to be the first and biggest challenge that you'll experience in this role. It's certainly a career opportunity because of these licenses. And what they do is they register you as a stockbroker. So as you can imagine, we spend a lot of time, we have a lot of comprehensive material to make sure that you are that confident and comfortable subject matter expert for your clients and for yourself. It's kind of cool to go home and tell your friends and family, I'm a stockbroker. I can tell you, what to do. It's a really great feeling. And as far as the training goes, it starts off with about a month of orientation, job shadowing, just to get acclimated to the environment. And then starting months 2, 3, and 4, those 3 months are solely dedicated to a full-time study program. So half the time you're in the office, you're going through the material on your own, you're reading through the material, you're going through the curriculum. It is an online curriculum, so that is something to be aware of. And it has, it's kind of like an accelerated college semester, if you think about it that way. It has chapter tests and midterms and finals built into it. So half the time you're reading through the material, but then we're also going to supplement your learning through classroom lectures on site and virtually, group study sessions, and we have dedicated quiet space and breakout time for those study sessions. And we also have computer labs in all of the sites that you go in to work through concepts with your team through online modules. We also will loan every new hire a training laptop, so you can bring that material home. And usually there is a fair amount of outside study activity at certain points in the process. But really, when it comes to those licenses, that's going to be your life for the first 4 months. It is a pretty accelerated time frame, But once you have these licenses, as long as you keep them active, they never expire. So once you have them, they're yours. And as long as you're in the industry using them, keeping them registered, you will have some continuing education as your career grows, but you'll never have to retake them. So this is definitely the most intense part. And once that's over, then you go into another 3 months to learn the job itself. And that is partial time in a classroom, learning how to talk to people, how to move money, how to place trades in the market. And the other half of the time, you are taking calls with clients. And what we do is we route to you calls that align to where you are in training. So then 3 months later, you have all of this wonderful experience under your belt before you're in the position full time. So typically the training for someone coming into a service position, the customer advocate position, without licenses is about 6 to 7 months, give or take, holidays and how that works out.
All right, very good. That sounds very comprehensive for sure. All right, here's an interesting question here. What's the dress code at Fidelity? Who would like that one?
I'll take it. So it is actually a relaxed dress code. You do not need to, wear the traditional, suit and tie and all of that. No, we do not have that anymore. Whatever makes you comfortable is, what we want to see. So, your jeans, your, t-shirt, tennis shoes, whatever works for you. Whenever you, dress and leave the house. So there is no, so to say, dress code anymore. It's more relaxed at this point.
Very good. Yeah, that's great. It's a casual work environment, certainly nice. Next question, a good one here. What is the potential for advancement and growth at Fidelity? What does a career path look like there? Can you talk about maybe some different paths someone can go, as they embark on a career there?
I can jump in with this one. As I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, I focus on the customer advocate position, which is definitely like our main point of entry into the firm. And so typically people spend anywhere from 1.5 to 2 years in that position if they were to start in that position. Keep in mind that does include 7 months worth of training. So when you incorporate that in, that makes a little more sense. And I have seen people move out of the position more quickly. I have seen people take a little bit longer. We're all individuals. We all have our own paths. And surely our culture here is about, and we have it on our website, it's about blazing your own trail. And that's really what it's about. So let's say you're in the position for a couple of years, you've reached that level of expertise. You've become well-rounded and your performance is in a great place. We are a meritocracy here, so performance is key. But there's lots of opportunities that you can look into. So traditionally, you can choose to go into 2 major business functions. So that would either be considered client services or sales and planning, so advising and planning. And so if you were to continue in the client services space, you could go on to work with high net worth accounts, or you could go on to work with our transitional group, like Aisha was saying, working with beneficiaries, working with inheritors, working with people who have been through some life event. You could also look into brokerage operations, which is more of a middle office type of a role where you are the liaison with broker dealers and advisors who use our products, helping them in a support way. Or you could also look into retirement plan services, which is our service support group, helping our clients that use their 401k through their company and being a subject matter expert. Or you could choose to go on the other business function. You could choose to go into sales or advising or planning. So as Aisha was saying, our sales roles you're not out there building a book of business. You're not cold calling. We don't cold call here at Fidelity. The only outbound calls that you do are to current customers. And so depending on what route you want to take, if you wanted to go into financial planning, that's helping customers with more of those long-term sustainable retirement solutions, that sustainable growth. Or if you wanted to go into advising, you could go out and you would be talking to customers about their immediate growth goals and what they want to see out of the market and their products right now. If you were to go into the sales function, you would actually be sponsored to obtain another license called a 66, Series 66, which gives you the ability to recommend products and give advice. And then from there, you can choose to progress into a consultant role or a relationship manager role. You might even want to look into our branch network for some of those opportunities if that was something you wanted to aspire to. You could also look into going the portfolio management route. There's so many different things you can do, but I will say that if you start in one of these roles, most of the positions lead to other client interactive roles that utilize these licenses in a more specialized and advanced way.
Very good. That sounds like a great opportunity for sure. Well, looks like that's the last question we have. So we'll kind of close things out here. Oh, hold on. Let's see here real quick. I got one more question. Would you sponsor for a Series 24 if someone already has a Series 7 and Series 63?
We actually sponsor for the 9 and 10 currently. That is more of a legacy license. The 24 here at Fidelity, if you are coming into it and already have it, we will register the license, but you would need to move into a role that does require you to utilize it for us to maintain that license after the expiration date.
Okay. So into a management role of some kind would be how you maintain that license.
Correct.
Very good. Okay, well, great. I think that's the last question we have for now. But if anyone has any questions that for some reason we didn't get to today, Fidelity representative is going to be back in touch with you directly and can answer any questions that way. So to close out here, y'all, any closing thoughts here on next steps for any of the potential audience members here on kind of what they can expect next and what's the next best step for them to take?
I would like to say, 1 in 4 people have Fidelity accounts. So I say that to say there are an immense amount of opportunities here in Westlake. We have 6,000 associates. So that's just to show the sheer magnitude. So if you didn't find something that you specifically, meshed with or that spoke to you, feel free to, again, go on our sites, reach out to us so that we can guide you. Because I'll say once you get here, we have all sorts of tools, a career center, we have manager info sessions, we have for growth coaching, everything you need to equip you to be successful when you're here. So definitely encourage you to go on the site, look around, get in contact with us because the sky is the limit.
Very good. Yeah, thank you very much. And that's great. And as you'll see on the last slide here, there's a number of different ways you can stay in touch with them. Certainly recommend going and linking in, checking the Fidelity's career site, joining their talent network, and this will help you stay on top of new opportunities. I know that there's constantly new opportunities being opening up there. So it's very dynamic in that respect. And we appreciate you all taking the time to talk about that today. Since we don't have any questions, I do want to go ahead and close out here. Again, this webinar was recorded. Each of you is going to receive a copy of a link for an on-demand recording in case you want to go back and watch it again. Also, you're going to receive an email follow-up with links and details from Fidelity on how to take the next steps as well. So we hope that you enjoyed the webinar today. We thank all the panelists today. Wonderful information. Thank you for taking time out. And this is going to conclude today's webinar. We appreciate it and hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Thank you.